All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I'm Justin, joined by Jack and Tanner. Kalen says he's gonna join us later. What do you guys think about just like ignoring him completely when he hops on?
I think that'd be funny. Let's do it.
Okay. All right,
That'd be pretty.
Let's give him the silent treatment, after like a rookie home run in the MLB or something.
I think that'd be a fun game plan.
Anytime he tries to talk, we just keep talking.
We just keep talking over him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Perfect. Good plan. It is October 15th, and your Michigan Wolverines are still undefeated. So turns out we're pretty good.
I did not expect 52-7.
50 burger.
In a shitty fucking
Back
day.
back.
Holy shit.
I mean, I saw Patrick Barron tweet, who does a lot of photography at Michigan at the stadium and stuff. He tweeted a screenshot of the game when it was 7-7 with 4 minutes left in the half, and he's like, "This is a 52-7 game." Like,
yeah,
absolute absurdity. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, boys. I was clenching a little bit up there. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And then 8 straight scoring drives. So
it's fucking stupid.
It was weird that the score turned out to be that, because I think if you, as a Michigan fan, if you turn it off at halftime, you're like, oh my God, we're gonna win 21-7 or something, like 14-7. I don't know. We're pretty good at halftime adjustments. Just adjustments in general, we're very good at, I think, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But to go from one, we had punt, and then just never turn the ball over again.
Dude, it's fucking wild. JJ looked good. Blake looked good. Colston looked real fucking good. AJ Barner had a nice little catch on the sideline.
Tuttle.
Revenge game. Jack Tuttle is up there. With like Game 6 Jordan. Like it's like his moniker's up there for sure.
Was he wearing a Revenge Tour shirt yesterday? I didn't see, but he might.
Can't confirm or deny.
I just I had a little image go through my head like today when I was reading some comments of people like how happy are AJ Barner and Jack Tuttle. Like I just imagine them in the locker room, just like, thank God, got the fuck out of there, dude. Like just like dapping up, like, hey man, could have been on the other side of that. So yeah, they both played well against their former teams. Tuttle.
I think it's great that we have Tuttle. Like, he's good. He is not some slouch. Like,
he'll be back next year, right? You think?
I don't think he has any more eligibility.
Does he not have a COVID? I don't know. I still don't understand. Like, I can't calculate. My math doesn't do my brain doesn't do the math.
I'm pretty sure he was high school teammates in the same class with Chris Olave. So I don't think he has any more eligibility. Like I think he was a 2018. So this is his sixth year. I don't think he has any more. Yeah.
All right.
Unless there's a medical in there somewhere, which I doubt. But
I feel like sometimes there's those situations where guys just have like unlimited eligibility, essentially.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
Joel had like fucking 8 years. Brad.
Joel and Brad were there for literally 6-7 years. I don't know.
It's amazing.
Wild. And Brad was like, I'm thinking about coming back. And everyone's like, we love you. We love you more than everything. Maybe time for the next step.
Just go in the NFL, dude.
Yeah, man. And then it's worked out well for him. He's making a lot more money.
Well. Yeah, him and Moody, dude. Moody's like the best kicker in the NFL right now.
Absolutely. I think that I'll ask you guys a question, though. In the moment, we were obviously concerned about the first half. Like it was, I was worried because, like, honestly, it wasn't like they had the one fluke play that actually led to their touchdown, but like they were playing with us. I'd say it wasn't just like total flukes. Like that's usually what I gauge if a team is really being upset or not, or something like that. Like they played pretty well with us for the first half, I would say.
Yeah, I think their defense looked good in the first half or first quarter up until like 4 minutes left in the first half. But I don't know, man. I feel like with the teams that we've been able to enjoy the last couple of years, I'm just like, they're gonna fucking come back and win. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, I'm a very emotional football watcher in the sense that not externally all the time, like for the big games, yeah, but like internally, I'm just like biting my fingernails a lot. Like I just get nervous no matter what, like who they're playing, because I just, I think about I think we've talked about this, but I just think about the season through the lens of looking at the two big games on the schedule and how do we see Michigan stack up against the Penn State and Ohio State. So in that sense, I'm always like looking for style points and just looking for dominance. But after the first quarter, I want to say Michigan outgained them like 400 and something to like 86. So, and they also look, Indiana stinks. We talked about it, but they didn't have a new offensive coordinator, had a bye week. So they probably installed some things that were trying to go against what Michigan does, and obviously had success for 2 drives. And then it was completely shut down. I mean, I'm assuming a majority of those yards probably came in the fourth quarter on their, where they tried to drive down and score as Tom Allen's trying to get a touchdown with 13 seconds left. Like Tom Allen's just a tool in general. So I'm not surprised, but
Tom Allen has Brady Hoke vibes of just clapping no matter what. He's just always clapping on the sidelines. His team is like, you look at the scoreboard and it's 52-7 and he's out there just like, good job. Go get him. Go. All right. Good work. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I love Tom Allen.
He's an interesting cat.
That was so perfect. Me and Dan are just shitting on him, and Jack was like, I don't know, kind of like him.
Kind of like this guy's vibes.
Yeah. Because 2020, I thought Indiana was back, man.
Well, they had the good year in 19. They went to a bowl, and I don't know if they got 9. They had 8 or 9 wins, and then
they beat
2020.
2020, they were 6-1.
I don't remember 2020 at all, to be honest.
The only reason I know that is because I heard it on the broadcast of the game yesterday.
Well, they had Penix. He was really good. Now he's like
lighting it up in Washington.
That was an awesome game, by the way.
It was an awesome
favored. I mean, like if you essentially he's favored to a point where you can't even double your money if he wins the Heisman.
Yeah, he's minus 140. JJ's tied for second in Heisman odds with Drake May. You know what? That game was the mid-off
for the Oklahoma dude.
No, I think it's maybe both of them. Honestly,
I think it's Dylan Gabriel.
I
think Dylan Gabriel is plus 800, and then JJ's plus 1,000.
I saw everybody like behind Penix was plus 1,000 today, but I mean it's different sports books. So you probably get whatever number. But you were right though. USC Notre Dame is and was the mid-off. Whoever in the comments was mad about that.
Thank you.
Notre Dame had 250 yards of total offense.
I mean that's and dominating.
Yeah, because Williams set him up with short field like 3 times. One of them was he was out at the 2-yard line. Oof. Williams stunk it up. That was an awful performance from him.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it, and I don't know who it was. I forget in the YouTube comments, but that was a mid-off. I think USC stinks, and I think Notre Dame is not good either. Like I think they're both solid. I don't think USC. I think USC and Notre Dame would not stand a chance in the top of the Big Ten right now with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. That's my opinion.
Lincoln Riley's
Ohio State did beat Notre Dame though.
But Ohio State played the worst game ever against them, and I think Ohio State's kind of mid too. If I'm being honest, somebody screenshot this and come back to me in November possibly, but whatever.
It was Andrew Eldridge 1236. Michigan fan here. Can't listen to a college football podcast where guys refer to the games such as Notre Dame, USC as mid. It's so cringe.
I love how that was the cringe moment and not us talking about shitting pants.
People love that portion of it.
Yeah, also, he was like, I'm in, and then he was all the way out when just
I've got a good new comment from yesterday. Dr. Uday Singh, what is the show about? I thought it was supposed to, I think you meant to say Michigan football, which is why I tuned in. Horrible.
There's not much to talk. Do you want us to break down Michigan demolishing poor Big Ten West teams in Indiana? Like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And you know what? We have an analytical football show. If you'd like to tune in to Blue by the Numbers,
this is not
that's what we do. Here we're going to talk about shitting our pants. There we're going to talk about PFF and analytics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Yeah, we've talked about a lot of football on this podcast. It was simply we had 7 straight weeks of bad football teams to talk about and we were at our
Mhm.
limit. We just
Yeah.
couldn't. It was over. I'm sorry. So
And if you like bad football teams, boy, do I have the team for you this Saturday night in East Lansing, Michigan.
oh, that was perfect.
I mean, fuck. What do you think the score is going to be?
It's a 24-point spread.
We called that, didn't we? We were walking out of the stadium and we're like 24.5 sounds right.
Oof.
And I think that, hey, nothing bad has ever happened when Michigan has been favored by over 20 against Michigan State.
Ugh.
I mean, I can't think of anything. So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
not smart enough to know what you're referring to, but I believe it must be something in recent history.
Something that you blacked out in your memory like the
Yeah.
entire year. That's what I did.
yeah, but that year didn't happen.
Was that 2020?
Yes.
That's a
We
Mickey
just
Mouse
talked
year.
about
Let's
that.
just be real.
Yeah. Very Mickey Mouse year.
Yeah.
Can't count it.
But no, I mean, I thought that Michigan looked really, really good
Really
in that
fucking
second
good.
half, and like, I mean, these stats from JJ and Jack Tuttle combined are insane. They are 19 for 22.
That's
Passing,
dumb.
which also is hilarious that we scored 52 points again with JJ not even throwing it 20 times.
That's
Yeah, he
fucking
was
wild.
well. He started 0 of 2, and then would have been what he would have been 14 of 15 the rest of the way, and that was basically all just the second. It was like that was all the damage he did yesterday was basically like the second quarter and then like half of the third quarter. So like 23 minutes of game time puts up 220, 3 touchdowns.
Also, where the hell did Ben Hall come from?
Ben Hall's the GOAT. I love him.
What a
so
beauty.
much. He's a stud.
I mean, he should be fucking RB1.
He seriously,
He looks
does have
sick.
like
That's like the
natural
swag. He's 28 at running back. He's got the fucking turf tape on his arms. Make him
Yeah.
RB1. That's all
Yeah.
it takes for me.
He reminds me of who's the Stewart guy that was on the Panthers?
Jonathan Stewart,
I think he reminds me of Jonathan Stewart.
former
a lot.
Oregon running back. Yeah.
Yeah, just how he like his body build and how he runs. That's what he reminds me.
He
of.
showed really great vision and patience.
He
So
looked good.
yesterday when I went to the game, I was very high up at like the 30-yard line, and then at halftime, it was miserable. By the way, it really did stink. So I made my way down to where Justin was sitting, and we were like 10 rows up, and so you could really see the field and like his long run where he like cut it to the left, like you could just see the patience from him and just the vision and waiting for that hole to open up, and then he hit it, showed good burst, and I think he's gonna be a player.
I really do think he's going to be really good. I think that I mean, a lot of people are really excited about Cole Cabana in that class, which I think Cole Cabana can fly. He's probably not quite there yet physically, though. He's little. Ben Hall, as a 19-year-old, looks like he's 22. Like he looks like a vet, whether it be just from his body and, like you said, the vision and all that. So I think that Michigan's run game is going to continue. I mean, we're still going to just have the 1-2 punch of Cabana and Ben Hall could be pretty damn good.
Well,
And
you
you've got
Khalil Mullings, you got Leon Franklin, you got Dono next year,
Maybe.
Jordan Marshall.
Jordan Marshall's the kid.
Coming
Obviously,
in.
like you watch his film, it's like, oh, this kid's kind of like Blake. Like his jump cut, very good vision, stays on his feet, really good balance. Like he might be that dude coming in. And then Micah Capana, how do you say his last name? The kid out of Bishop
Cabana?
Gorman in Vegas. He's a burner. Like
Cole Cabana?
Micah. I couldn't tell you how to say his last name, but he's a 3-ish star running back who committed second running back in the class next year. Kid's a burner, plays at one of the best schools in the country. Like they've got some dudes coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in good shape. How about the run game too? We had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that had 9 rushes or more. That's almost 4 guys in double digits rushes. That's pretty good. I mean, we spread it evenly.
Wait,
Ben
who
Hall
was it
obviously
then?
played like the whole fourth quarter.
Right.
had
Ben
9
Hall,
rushes.
Blake, Dono. Who was the fourth?
Our man JJ.
Oh, obviously. Okay. I was wondering if it was just running backs or not.
No, I mean JJ. I really love how we're using him in the running game. Except for sometimes I'm like, hey man,
I got a little
do that.
nervous on a couple of those. I was like,
don't do that against a
dings.
shitty Indiana team.
oh man.
Yeah, I like teams having to account for it, and he's so good at doing it, but I'm like, all right, as soon as somebody comes near you, slide, go down, do something. I know
Go
I
out of
don't need
bounds.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
the fake screen draw. I think I stopped breathing for 4 seconds, and then I was like watching him on the sideline because again I moved up to be very close and like he was like jumping and celebrating. I was like, oh thank God. But he was a little hobbly coming off. He took a big hit. Also, JJ, hey buddy, you could slide. It was like 3rd and 14. You're up 35-7. It's okay, man. You could slide. But he's a hockey player.
Gamer, dude.
Yeah.
He is a gamer. He really like he is no, he doesn't want to like go out, which I love that. Because there are some guys out there over the years that are like, I'd much rather step out, you know what I mean? But he is not afraid. He's not CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's killing it in the NFL right
He's
now.
crushing it
Incredible
right
talent for sure. But like
Because of
there,
Nico.
in all seriousness, there is a very real difference between JJ McCarthy and CJ Stroud from a mental capacity, I think, where JJ is totally fine with taking that extra hit, and CJ Stroud's like, I'm good. And I think that changes things. I'm being serious. I'm not even trolling right now. I swear to God.
I feel like you're trolling, but
I'm not.
I love it. I love it.
I want to stir up some controversy in the comments again,
I
but
know.
am I
I still
wrong?
Would
Prove
you
me
say
wrong.
CJ Stroud is
Very
mid?
soft. No.
CJ Stroud.
I'll tell you who is mid. Penn State's offense.
Oh, there you
Are
go.
they?
Good
They whooped up
transition.
on UMass, dude. They got a powerhouse over there.
It might be the worst team in FBS, unfortunately, for Don Brown.
Mm.
Yeah. They
They
also
get a
were
bun
like
up.
going for it. Like, UMass had like 25 yards of total offense, up 35-0. They went for it on Penn State's side of the field. I was like, all right, come on, James. Like he's been about it this year, like the style points. He's like, I'm gonna run this shit up. I don't
Yeah,
care.
because I think he's overcompensating
For what?
because his offense isn't that good, so he needs to overcompensate.
Oh, I thought you were
and
talking
make
about
it
someone
work.
else.
Well, I mean, maybe.
Why does everything have to be sexual for you, Tanner?
Yeah,
That's when has it ever been sexual?
jeez.
Okay.
You're
All right.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Kick him off.
That's-
Somebody call.
Jesus Christ.
Blue
I
Line
drive a
ID.
Ram
Yeah.
truck, so
You think James
What does that
Franklin would
mean?
think sexual, I guess.
talk about
I don't even
compensating.
know.
Over compensating. I don't know that I've ever made anything sexual, but you know,
See, this is why we need Kalen on here. I wish he was fucking here, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Same.
tone it down,
Rest in
Tanner.
peace.
This is a family
Rest
show.
in peace.
dude,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
talked about shit.
What do you think Kalen's doing right now?
Kalen, I bet you he's probably
Think he's
Working on the
working
betting spread.
Ooh.
yeah, he's
Analytics.
probably working on his model.
Ooh.
Mm.
How'd the model
Yeah.
do? I wonder. If he were here, he could tell us.
If he were
If
here,
you were here, he could
Yeah.
tell us. What do you think he would say if he was here?
he would say, I feel like there's a voice in my ear telling me what he'd say. I'm just waiting for it.
It's almost like we could.
I'm all ears. I
feel-
really want to know what you think.
How was that impression of Kalen? Didn't I sound just like him?
Jesus, is that Frank
Wow,
Caliendo?
that was good, Jack.
That's
That
pretty
was
good.
really
I'm
good.
impressed by
Wow.
myself. All right, Kalen, welcome. I can't do this much longer.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
know
what are
how
we
long it was
talking
gonna
about
go.
here? Golden
No,
Bachelor?
we were
or
trying to
what?
give you the silent treatment.
Golden Bachelor. Claudia's
We're
been
just like
trying
when
to get me to
Kalen
watch
comes
that.
on, we're just gonna fucking pretend like he's not here.
Did we do
Kalen,
good?
we missed you yesterday at the tailgate.
I know. we
Yeah,
did.
how was a tailgate? That's the real story.
It was good.
I had some beverages.
Weather wasn't too bad. Yeah, beverages were.
Tents helped. The
Dude,
tents
that's
helped
crazy.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Still outdoors?
Yep.
The
Okay.
Chela's takeout hit, like
Fire.
very much hit.
Ooh, love
Got
that.
some like barbacoa and some pork carnitas. Fire.
I thought, okay, can I say something? The guy that was DJing, that he was like, at first he's an older guy, and I was on the tunes, and he was like the owner of the house's guy, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna like hook it up, and I'll start playing music, and I was like, oh man, I don't
that's
know
not-
about that. I don't know about that. And then he started playing. He was playing bangers. He had some good tunes
Wow.
going.
Oh, it's
Dude,
fucking awesome.
I don't know what he had on his phone, but like I was
It was
asking
like
for a
DJ
song.
app.
Yeah, he had like I'd be like, hey, can we play
Mixing
X
over there.
song? And he like would click it, and then you could click from like Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. I'm like, what is this? He had
It
it
was
all in
sick.
one place.
It was
Oh,
like
shit.
it was like a virtual turntable on there. He was like mixing like together.
I want to announce that I was undefeated at the beer bong again.
True.
I don't know if anybody can
Ooh.
take me
Thank-
off the throne at this
Thank
point.
God we didn't play Flip Cup for your sake, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm old, so flip cup. You know,
Okay, you're
that's-
literally the youngest person
Yeah,
here.
please stop.
You know, hey, I want to just make I want to give a shout out to us for those that were at the game, because Justin, you were talking about how we're all old and soft and we didn't tailgate. We still tailgated, just not a normal one.
Right.
We made it longer than any other student, any student at the
By
game.
far.
They all were gone.
They're
And
soft.
we were walking out and they'd all left. So they're soft.
Exactly. And I did more fireball shots in the stadium than them. So,
Dude, it was funny. One of the girls at the State and Liberty tailgate, one of my coworkers, she was like, I just want to make a point that somebody from your guys' tailgate stole our fireball. I was like, oh yeah, that was, I watched that happen.
I will spend $12 for that fireball.
yeah, I did go over there. I was straight up was like, give me that fireball.
I was like, oh yeah, we got some over here. Just lean over the fence, grab it.
I want to add this too, Justin, your dad. Like when I came down, and like every time that I saw him after being away for like 3 minutes, was like, "Hey, aren't you the guy on Bleacher Report?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." That's me." He did it like 12 times. It was unbelievable.
That's my dad. Usually, once he finds one good joke, he really hammers it home.
Yeah. And then your mom, was she was talking to me and Claudia, and she's like, "Yeah, you guys are so good on Bleacher Report." And she's like, "It's very funny to see the contrast between that and you guys talk about crapping your pants on the normal pod." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fair.
We can do both.
Maybe we could talk. I don't think we can talk about that on Bleacher Report. I don't know if that's
no, I don't think so. Find you a man that can do both, though. Come on.
You gotta start pushing it, Tanner. Get on Bleacher Report. You know. Bring us jinx. Overcompensating.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you should see when we get the comments. Like we just start going after Buckeye and Penn State fans.
Well, on Bleacher Report, we definitely get like fans of other teams in there more, and it is very fun to troll because they can't possibly understand that we're trolling. That is the best part about like being up 2-0 in the last 2 games of the rivalry is like when you're on the losing end of the rivalry, you're just so angry all the time. And like we on the winning end, we can joke around, we can like, poke fun and do all this. And at the end of the day, you can't really talk shit if you're Ohio State because we just like say 45, we say the score.
Right? Like, oh, scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
dude, if we win this year, we're gonna break their brains. When we win this year, their brains are gonna be completely broken.
It is going to be incredible when that moment happens because they're going to be trying to get Ryan Day. Like it's going to be a Lane Kiffin, leave him on the tarmac situation in like Alabama.
I kind of hope that Jim Harbaugh pulls like an old one out of his hat and like shakes Ryan Day's hand way too hard and like runs off the field.
Yeah,
does the
Schwartz action?
Yes.
Please.
What's your deal?
Please. Oh my God. That little smack on the back. Yeah. Oh my God. All right, let's go around the Big Ten a little bit. Talk about some not so great teams. Let's see.
Which teams in which games, because there were some not so great games that I was watching the whole time. Also, I want to just make this point before you get to the Big Ten stuff because I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't know if do you guys all have YouTube TV?
Yep.
The multi-view is great. But
whoever Jim Harbaugh likes that.
Yes, and it's great. But dude, yesterday I can't remember what games I had on, but I had like Washington, Oregon, Iowa, Wisconsin, and then like South Carolina, Florida, or something. I can't remember. There's like three solid games, and then I had Bethune-Cookman and Texas Southern, and I was like. And like I went to YouTube TV's like support page and they're like, we curate it. And I'm like, who the fuck curates it? Like, can you get a college football fan to do this, please? It's just wild.
Why are we giving there was decent games on at that time too, right?
I know, yeah. It's weird. Like I don't know what
Cookman sounds like you just read a name out of the yellow pages or something.
They're HBCU, they're an HBCU in Miami.
Yeah, Demetrius Sims, who played at Huron, baseball out there, shortstop, went to BCU.
Does that not sound like a law firm though?
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Bethune-Cookman and Sons.
Bethune-Cookman and Cookman.
Yeah.
Well, first one I got here is Iowa, Wisconsin, which was the ugliest Big Ten West game of all time. The fact that Iowa has a legitimate chance to go 11-1 is the most sickening thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Just looking at the play-by-play is hilarious. It's just downs, punt, downs.
15-6 is just
37 passing yards, 6 of 14 for 37 yards.
Oh my
with
god.
negative 18 rushing yards for the quarterback. So he attributed 19 total positive yards of offense
Oh
in a win.
my god. And did you know that so I can't remember if it was Cade's last game or if it was the last game, but they had 6 completed passes and 5 of them were to Eric Hall.
And he got hurt.
Wow.
And then he got hurt. Yeah, he was
Wow.
hurt. for
They
the
don't
whole
have
half.
Luke Lachey. They don't have Eric Hall. Obviously, Cade's out. Like, it's crazy though. They're more than likely to at least win 9 games. I mean, I'm sure they will trip up somewhere. I have a feeling. Like,
Well, against who? Those teams are. I know they're not good, so maybe they will trip up. But like Northwestern, Minnesota, Nebraska, like all those teams that they play are so bad.
Dude, the rest of their schedule is fucking
That's
cake.
what I'm saying. Go
Like
look.
they could definitely go 11.
What is it? What is it? List it off.
Yeah, Minnesota, Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska.
I mean, Rutgers is the best chance to win.
Dude, this
I don't
their
know.
schedule might be
The
the weakest schedule in
Cornhuskers-
all of college football.
Are they gonna? They're nowhere near the. They can't be anywhere near the 25 points per game, right?
no.
Not even close.
They have a shutout.
So that means
No.
he's fired,
No.
correct? If he doesn't get there.
Oh, we won 11-1 though. Just imagine Kirk's like, well, hey, I mean, results speak for themselves. Like,
That is, oh my god! I hope that that's the case because that will be amazing if they try to like say, well, they're in big. All these Big Ten West teams are in huge trouble next year with the conference realignment. Like,
What are we
there's
going
no
to?
way.
Back to leaders and legends or what?
I don't know what
I don't know if they've
is.
announced it yet.
No, they haven't.
I don't know how you even have a conference championship game at this point
Right.
with
Do you-
18 teams.
Do they just? You almost had to have a playoff just for the Big Ten.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like top 4.
Yeah.
I think though, Justin, to your point, like not even just the Big Ten, but I think all of like the mid to low tier Power 5 teams are just going to become redundant.
Yes.
In the SEC, the Big 12 is interesting because there's like 47 teams in there now. And I saw Gonzaga's trying to get in there for basketball, which Big 12 is going to be unbelievable with like Arizona, Kansas. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's feel bad for, obviously like the Oregon State, Washington State fans. But then I think a lot of teams that even are coming over or existing in the Big Ten is like Northwestern, like, come on. Yeah, I feel it's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. By the way, upset alert, Illinois over Maryland. After Maryland had 5 straight really good weeks and then played tough against Ohio State. They outplayed Ohio State in the first half for real. And then obviously just shot themselves in the foot of quite a few times, and Ohio State turned it on. But Illinois is really bad. That is a bad loss for Maryland.
And they were right there too. They took it down to the wire, and then they ended up kicking the field goal to win the game. So it was like, just brutal.
Altmaier had a big time drive, had a nice run. But like I told you earlier, I look at everything through the lens of like Ohio State. And again, we don't do the transitive property, but like I look at Maryland. Ohio State put up 380 total yardage on them, and then Illinois puts up 340 on Maryland. So it's not
4
like
different team names, and I have no
I
idea.
did.
what
That's
you're
how my
Yeah.
grandmother calls me and my cousins. Like she just goes through 8 names to get to the one she really means, and so it must mean I'm getting older. Cognitive issues are showing up left and right. But yeah, I mean Maryland is this is Maryland, dude. They go 5-0, and then it's like, oh, well, we finished.
They have done
7-5.
this like every year for the past
Yeah.
like 4 years, where you're like, could Maryland be for real this year? And then they just shit the bed. Our friends down the road in East Lansing, who we're going to travel to this upcoming weekend. Speaking of shitting the bed, oh my god, 24-6 at the end of the third quarter, and just completely fall apart. Special
Wow.
teams, fumbles, all this stuff. Like, I mean, after honestly, and I was like, oh shit, Caton Hauser, like looking pretty good. Maybe this is, a turning point for them. And then it's like, no, it's not.
At least they had Colorado to blow even more of a lead than
True.
they did.
True.
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, you look at MSU has 245 yards. Hauser goes 18 and 29 for 133, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. But I mean, that's not very efficient. Yeah, that's we were walking out and I had no idea that it had even gotten close because we had just seen like 24-6. They were looking pretty dominant from the scores in the big house on the big screen. Come out, look at YouTube TV, and I'm like, oh, Rutgers has the ball up like at the 50-yard line. No idea how it happened until we got home and watched the highlights, but just a collapse. And now it's not even fun. Like they're just they don't want to engage. They just like it's but it was fun going through like my For You page on Twitter and just seeing like daily MSU, just like this. Caden Hauser was a starter. This team would be 5-1. It's like I got to win that. Got to win the game he starts first before we start talking like that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he does seem like a much better option than Noah Kim. But like, I mean, I just think that's
not as swaggy though.
No, not Noah Kim is pretty swaggy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Noah Kim still looks like a high school quarterback. Like he's so thin. Do they not have strength and conditioning at Michigan? I don't understand. Somebody said this on Twitter and I agreed with it, but like they just look small. They don't look like a college team. No, just the whole team. They just look small and undersized. Look like Colorado.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, honestly, Rutgers in that fourth quarter, like I know there was the fumble returns, but like they bullied them to win that game in the end of it. Like just running the ball out, stopping them on the fourth downs. Like they truly did outmatch them.
So you're saying that we're just gonna absolutely manhandle them?
I mean, I'd be shocked at it. I'd be shocked if we didn't. I'd be shocked if we didn't.
What's is there a prop bet on the first score of the game? Because I'm going to put my life savings on Michigan State scoring a touchdown first. Because they always do. Every year it seems like they do. And then Michigan will just roll the rest of the way.
First touchdown score, Blake, parlay that with JJ 2 touchdowns and a Kalel Mullings anytime touchdown.
Wow.
You're golden.
That's a good.
I'm retiring on that
one. Ohio State beat up on Purdue. Purdue stinks. I mean,
so bad.
Boil it down.
They're really bad. Ohio State. This was one of the games this year for Ohio State. Outside of like Western Kentucky, this was like the first time in a while that they looked like they could do whatever they want. And I know it's Purdue, but like they looked like what we think Ohio State should be. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I haven't seen any of it, but statistically looked much better than any of their recent games.
Yeah,
McCord had a good game.
So we'll see. They have to host Penn State this week. So that's the big game at noon this week.
Perfect.
That'll be fun to watch during the day.
I will be drinking.
Ohio State's hosting Penn State. You said
correct. Yep. Penn State goes to Ohio State.
I like it.
Yeah, let's see what else we got here. Penn State, you're playing UMass in the middle of the season. I don't even want to talk about you.
Yeah, some SEC stuff right there.
Yeah. Talked about Iowa, Wisconsin. Let's see. I think that might be it for Big Ten games.
Can I make one comment on Penn State, UMass, real quick, just to push my narrative further?
Yeah.
Drew Allar, 16-23, 162 yards, 3 touchdowns. So
efficient.
Not that great. As I continue to push that narrative mid right now. Next year, I think he'll be good. But right now, I don't see it.
I think he's got incredible talent, but he is young.
They don't push the ball downfield. Like they just throw 5. Like that's why I can't wait to watch. Obviously, it's gonna be an awesome game, but I can't wait to watch, and I'll be proven right or wrong. At least right now with Penn State's offense, because I just don't think their O-line is up to snuff, and I don't think Ohio State's D-line is dominant, but I think it's pretty good. So that's gonna be a fun one to watch, man. I can't wait.
The box score in that game was not crazy, which is very strange for 63-0.
Yeah, they probably had a lot of short fields. Well, I don't know. They only had 1 turnover for UMass, but it was Penn State put up 408 yards, 6.8 yards per play. Like it's a good performance, but UMass is atrocious.
They started the game with a fumble. It's like, Penn State fraud team. I don't know. Rumors.
I've been saying it since.
I mean,
September.
James Franklin absolutely is a fraud. So yes, they're a product of him. Georgia only beats Vandy 37-20, and they scored with like 2 minutes left to make that 37-20. Should Michigan be the number one team in the country?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think they are the best team at the moment.
I truly, again, not trolling, but I do think that Georgia is not quite as dominant as they were the past 2 years. Still an incredible football team. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. They haven't lost a game in like a long time.
Yeah.
But I think that they're just not quite that the same caliber as the last couple of years.
I think if Michigan played them right now, Michigan would win that game.
I think it would be
And
close.
I think didn't Brock Bowers get hurt in this game too?
Yeah,
Did he?
that was tough.
I heard
Damn.
that. Is he going to be out for a while?
Is he out?
I don't know.
He had
I
an
didn't
ankle
see that.
sprain.
Damn.
So-
So we definitely win.
We definitely win.
Yeah. No Brock Bowers.
Well, if they don't have Brock Bowers, they probably lose Auburn. So
I think that
he's
they
that big of a difference maker.
there was quite a few people who voted for in the AP poll who voted for Michigan at number one instead of Georgia. I think Georgia lost quite a few votes, and Michigan gained some. I think Michigan ended up with 12 AP number one votes. So the gap is tightening. So
Cool.
we'll see.
Here's an interesting matchup. Like, what about like Michigan versus Florida State? How do you think that would go?
Michigan wins.
I think Michigan is all around better than most of these other teams, if not all of them. Like Florida State, Jordan Travis is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Keon Coleman is a freak show.
Fucking monster.
And thank God that he's not at Michigan State, honestly. But they can go to him, 4 times a game. But Michigan, I think, just at every position outside of those two, they're just all around better. So I think that for a lot of those teams, like a Florida State, like Michigan they wear them down and probably beat them in the end. Because I think that they're much better coached, in my opinion. Strength and conditioning, I think that in discipline, they have better discipline, all that stuff. That's my
I
opinion.
think it's just interesting because like if they play a team that has like a really efficient offense, and I feel like Michigan tends to not play super well on defense in the first possession.
Right.
So if you get down, let's say 14-0, how do you respond? We just haven't seen Michigan in that situation this year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, let's be real. That was Michigan's like their kryptonite. Pre-2021 was once you get down, they have no way to like hurry up and come back. Now, even the last 2 years, Michigan hasn't been down ever that much, really. So they haven't had to. I do think that like this offense seems like it has the ability way more than past years. If they want to turn it on, they can, because JJ can push the ball downfield. Roman's super fast. Blake is good. I think that there is a bit of a difference in this offense compared to pre-2021.
Well, and I think you have the quarterback to go hurry up too if you need to, right? Like he's probably able to call plays at the line. If I have to assume they have that trust in him. I mean, they let him do so many things, and he's making a lot of checks with pressures, changing the protection, hot routes. Like you see him pre-snap doing a lot of things that you don't always see Michigan quarterbacks and just college quarterbacks in general doing. So,
right.
But Kalen, to your point, like one of the things that I had thought this season, one of the things that they're not really tested on was just facing adversity, like you mentioned. And I will say, look, it's Indiana, but that first quarter, man, they were getting punched in the mouth and not great. There's some things that I'm a little bit concerned about when it comes to some of the O-line stuff. Like there was some really easy pressure from IU. But I really like Michigan's ability to just, like JJ didn't try to play hero ball, didn't try to get it all back in one throw. Like he continued to play really smart football. So I thought that was a really good sign that they were, down and getting dominated, quite frankly. It was like 160 yards to -8 or whatever the hell it was. But they responded to adversity. Like I think that's kind of on the checklist for me of like, okay, like if something goes wrong, they're not going to fold up. We know they're not, but it was just nice to see them actually do it and then just beat the shit out of Indiana. Like those poor Hoosiers.
Poor Hoosiers. I talked to Junior Colson today, and he said that this was, from a defensive standpoint, their like best game all put together. Like they didn't have many missed assignments. The one trick play, obviously, But like from a defensive standpoint, they thought that this was their best game. So love that. I mean, I do think this defense is freaking good, man. This defense, I know we're not playing great competition, but like, man, they fly to the ball. It is fun to watch.
I mean, what are they giving up right now? They're giving up 6.7 points a game. So number one in the country.
Right.
Top three are all in the Big Ten East. Penn State's giving up 8. Ohio State's giving up 9.67. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I
them
do-
and Penn State probably have the best defenses in the country. Iowa's up there. Ohio State's up there. I mean, Big Ten football, baby.
Big Ten football. I love it. I do wonder, like, to your point, Caitlin, on the offensive side of the ball, if we look at it from the defensive side, what happens if they do give up 2 scores in the first quarter or something like that? Like, how do they respond? Can they, sometimes when those teams are so good, when things go wrong, if, let's say Penn State does it or Ohio State does it, and then it's like, oh shit, like, you start kind of blaming each other. It can easily go to that for teams that are not used to it.
And when your mentality is we wear down the other team, like, there has to be time for them to wear down. So in the first quarter, if for whatever reason they're just, flying and all of a sudden it's 21-0 and it's only been like 7 minutes, you go like, wait, what?
Yes.
So it takes, we just got to see it.
We do got to see it. The game that we talked about right away, Oregon-Washington, that's one of the best games of the year so far. That was an awesome game. I can't wait to go sailgating next year. That's going to be so much fun. But I don't know. Did Penix versus Bo Nix, did that hold up to the like Heisman game that everyone was talking about? I think it probably did, to be honest.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I just saw the end of it. But it's hard to think that anybody but Michael Penix is going to win the Heisman right now. Especially with Caleb Williams just fucking fumbling the bag.
Yeah. And I mean, well, we'll see. They really, the big game for Washington left on the schedule is at USC. I still think, though, if they win that game, USC's defense is not good, so he's going to go out and put up stupid numbers in that game.
He'll have to put up video game numbers.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, home versus Utah a week later is good, and then at Oregon State. Oregon State's playing pretty well as well.
Yeah.
They got a difficult stretch there, but I mean, they definitely have a chance to go undefeated for sure. That game was kind of for the conference, so I think that they have a really good shot at being in the college football playoff.
Also, shout out Jed Fish. Oregon smoked Washington State. I mean, they're putting it together, I feel like. I mean, they played USC
I think
close.
You're saying team names that you don't mean to be saying.
Arizona.
You said Oregon.
Oregon.
But yes.
Hey, man. Got
yeah,
that COVID brain, I think.
You need to take a nap.
What happened to Washington State? They were playing really good football all
Jed
year
Fish
long.
happened.
But Arizona is like, I mean, dude, I know he's got Arizona moving in the right direction. They are a lot better. Like 2 years ago, they were one of the worst teams in all of America, and now they're like pretty solid. I know, they're still 4-3 in the Pac-12, but
That's pretty good though, right? I mean, they played USC close last
They
week.
should have beat USC.
Should have,
Yeah.
yeah.
could have beat USC. Who their other losses at Mississippi State? That's not a bad loss at all, I don't think. And then versus Washington. So yeah, man. I mean, interesting. I do think that Arizona will be back here pretty soon. What's wait, are they Big 12 now?
Yeah,
Okay.
them in Arizona State,
Hmm.
Utah, Colorado.
I think
Anybody
they
else?
could compete in Big 12.
That conference is gonna be weird. Like
Yeah.
they'll get a playoff spot, but I don't know like how recruiting is gonna go for those schools now that Texas, Oklahoma aren't in the Big 12. Like that's
Right.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Let's see. Last big game of the weekend is Notre Dame USC. We talked about USC's defense just not being good. I don't know.
They played well though. I mean, they gave up 48 points, but they only gave up 250 yards. So that's a lot of that's on the offense and turnovers.
Yeah, true.
I mean, dude, I don't like. I know Caleb Williams is looked at as this generational quarterback, and I'm not the guy that's gonna like say that I know so much about football, but like when I watch him, his footwork's weird. Like he throws off his back foot a lot. Like I don't know, man. And he just sails balls. Like I know he put up crazy stats last year, crazy stats before last night, and he still does. But like I don't know, man. It just like he doesn't have good footwork. Like his drops are just like he seems flat-footed. I don't know if you guys notice that when you're watching him, but I don't know, man. Everyone thinks he's a sure thing, and I don't know. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't.
I agree with you. I just think his arm is insanely good. Like he at weird angles and off his back foot can throw it like a cannon. I mean, it's just he's really, really talented. I do think he still makes dumb mistakes as somewhat of a veteran college football player. You know, he went in, and I know, you know, going to Notre Dame at night is absolutely not an easy thing to do. So, you know, it's tough, but yeah, man.
Just need Tanner to roll us through his QB camp.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be slinging that thing at the tailgates.
I like it.
Tanner Bruton thinks Caleb Williams is a shitty football player.
Didn't say that.
By the way, shout out to North Peak Brewing, of course. Enjoyed a lot of Hail IPAs and Blue by 90 beers yesterday. Owner of North Peak came through, which was awesome. Good to see him. And then shout out State and Liberty as well. Pairing up.
Yeah.
I've got my State and Liberty hat on right now.
Love it.
I need one of those so bad.
Yeah,
Those are sick.
This is one of my favorite hats. I do love it.
It's a nice hat.
Yeah.
It's a good tailgate.
I like it.
Great tailgate. Great
Yeah.
tailgate.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, Claudia
I
looked at me.
I low-key love rain games because it's just like chaos and everyone's just like in a like happy, stupid mood. You know what I mean? Like it, you know, especially if we're winning it and it's not like super miserable, which it did get there at the end of the game. But like people are just, it's just like chaos, and I love it. I love it.
I just want to mention that at the tailgate, Claudia looked at me and she's like, "How's it going?" And I just like looked at her and was like, "I've had some beverages," and then I just kept walking to wherever I was going next. So had a lot of free beverages. Enjoyed myself. I went up to Jacqueline and she was like, "I'm getting salami." I was like, "I've never heard that, but I like it." So that's gonna be in my vocabulary moving forward.
I do like that. I like that. She said it a couple times this week.
Yeah, maybe she was salami. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No way. Oh man. All right. Well, we'll have another pod for you guys later this week. It's hate week. It's state week. It's hate state week. It is. It's gonna be fun talking shit all week on Twitter, especially because they have nothing to talk about. Maybe it's not going to be funny because they don't.
No, they will talk about our diplomas. It's show me your diplomas week.
Oh,
I wonder, setting the over under on that in East Lansing to about 23.5, just below the game line.
Yeah,
that is true. We'll be in East Lansing tailgating this weekend, so that'll be a good time. But we'll have another pod before that. So
are we mazing out the woodshed? Last question.
Last time we did that, it really burned us. Don Thomas.
I'm wearing blue.
Don Thomas texted me about it, saying that we should start Raid the Woodshed again. And I was like, it didn't work out well for us last night.
Those ticket prices are falling fast.
Pretty solid. Might be some opportunity for some maize and blue to get into Spartan Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For us, you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Blue by 90 Podcast on YouTube, and blueby90.com. We appreciate you. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.